Oh, hey, how's it going? Welcome to DM Debrief. Welcome to DM Debrief. It's staying in. We're in the episode from an undisclosed location. Got to make sure that I keep my hands in frame for this. No map because I didn't bring it. Didn't feel like it. Nerhtan can't be here. I would use Nerhtan if
Nerhtan would have been cool
if we weren't in the midst of a giant fight on the map.
Right.
And I don't want to have to move any more than I have to move.
Well done on the Nerhtan map. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, I found a good online tool for it that I made work.
Pretty effectively.
Yeah. You have to look real close, and with the fidelity of the overhead cam, I don't think you can tell through the YouTube. Which you're welcome, YouTube. You can thank Wyatt for having a full video for the whole 245 and change.
Otherwise, we would have had to have AI like dictate the entire all the actions.
Oh, have like audio description for everything.
Yeah.
A hand comes across the screen and moves 3 pieces. Oh, that helps a lot.
Right,
thank you so much.
Give you some flavor.
Things will look better in the next one. I'll actually have everything ready to go. I had things enough ready to go, but not to the extent that I wanted them to be. But enough griping about my own shortcomings.
Let's talk about my shortcomings.
Yeah, well, no, we'll start. Well, actually, we're not done talking about my shortcomings. How do you like the game?
I think it is pretty solid. It was. I can't pretend to be a strategist. Wyatt called a good shot, but obviously he wasn't there. No table talk. I did not think about the gates at all. I was like, oh yeah, they're coming from this side.
Which, I know it's not a character choice that you made to not consider it, but for Bjōlan,
it makes sense.
Being from a city.
I mean, nice organic.
Not from a city, from a town, therefore not really walled with gates to consider.
Definitely.
Ojmat isn't the metropolis. Metropolis, that may be overstating it a little bit, but Nerhtan is a big city, as you discovered. Apparently, Wade was not aware that it was, this massive 10,000 plus population
huge port
city.
Effectively. Probably along the southern coast, probably the second biggest after Rejlaz itself, if not maybe.
Probably. That's a good question.
It would definitely be a focal point for a lot of commerce coming up and down the canal, and
prior to the construction of the canal, it probably would have been the second city. It's not on the south coast; it's on the west coast, northwest coast,
right? Because it comes down.
But it is situated right at the mouth of a set of rivers that come out of the Lesser Kashars. So it would have been a pretty significant place because it would have been the closest place to come across the neck of the Patpakan Peninsula, basically. So
what is my region called? My home.
What do you mean?
The peninsula.
Patpakan Peninsula is what it's called. Patpakan Peninsula is the whole thing. Patpakan is a Feblesan word meaning travel by foot.
Okay.
Or to move by foot.
Thank goodness for the canal then, huh?
Yeah, that's the whole thing, was that you had to do that, or the we covered this at some point, but the southeast coastal territory. So out in the ocean, I guess is probably.
You said it's treacherous, but I don't know if you've ever elaborated on what.
Yeah,
really...
I mean, I've never elaborated on it in my own brain. I'm just thinking. I'm just thinking it's
you got like a little bit of Cape
shallow.
Hope, Cape Horn kind of problem.
Yeah, just that there's a lot of storms. It's rocky. There's bad visibility just from like fog and things like that. That's just what I'm imagining. I haven't sketched out anything because I ain't an artist. Sure. I can't draw too good unless it's like architectural stuff. Then I
got something though.
I mean, even on the Rejlaz Rekkolb map, where we do have like a palace and the Temple of Zerhos.
Right.
I modeled those in a 3D renderer.
Okay.
And then took the models and put the right angle.
I don't know if you fully explained that.
Yeah.
Either. I mean, I know you mentioned a little bit of old Paris and stuff like that, but
yeah.
Were inspirations, but
well, not inspirations. I literally took a map of like 1450 Paris's layout, and I traced a lot of it, but I also like repeated sections and modified sections so that it's not a one-to-one because it wasn't quite the right shape.
Right.
Wasn't quite what I was looking for. But as far as getting a sort of organic feel for that, because I mean, obviously you look at it and it's certainly not Paris, because you don't see the central portion with the arrondissement, you know, the different neighborhoods as you go around.
Nope.
Paris is broken up into neighborhoods called arrondissement, or however you say it.
I guess that's why. Sorry, my best touch point there is without being to Paris is the Pokemon game.
Yeah. That's why there's different neighborhoods in that, because it is actually mirroring Paris much more closely.
That's hilarious.
Than Reykjavik is.
I was enjoying it though. I know I complained in the episode of not having any fun, but that was very tongue in cheek. Of like, it was challenging. Yeah. Of like, what are we really doing? And it feels like a war of attrition. And I'm imagining that's intentional, you know, without sharing too much of what's coming. I think we've got a little taste already.
Yeah. For this I mean, I think you guys figured out pretty quickly that this is going to be a battle in stages.
Yes.
And like at this stage, yes, it's certainly you're trying to impede them and slow them down as much as you can. Is the intention. Now, I mean, we had a really nice cut to black moment in this one with the gates being
blasted
asunder, and just like one melee unit coming into view from you guys.
I don't like it.
Yeah. So, who's to say how many are out there?
From playing Civilization, that's always a bad feel when all of a sudden you see the little, here comes the army, or or early enough in the games, you know, here's the barbarians, and you're like, man, I just built that farm, and they're gonna raid it.
They're gonna just make trouble.
Just absolute terror.
Any adjustments you feel like need to be made in the game? Because I mean, like I said in the episode, this is a pre-alpha play test basically of a system that I created for this episode. Partially, you asked me if I was paying attention during the sermon on Sunday. I was really locked in on trying to figure this out. I actually came up with the idea and fleshed out the medic unit in church.
Okay.
Like I didn't even have, and I was like,
I almost
this is
wonder.
important.
I don't know how you'd really do it. You'd probably almost have to have. I don't know. Sorry, I conflicted thoughts there. You colored the medics as like essentially they could be clerics, bards, field medics, like there could be lots of things, but they're not necessarily truly magicians kind of character. They're not magic users per se.
Correct. And that's why I used that. That's why I used melee. That's why I used range. Because
I was like, a city of this size, I would imagine there would be some casters. Yeah. But it probably wouldn't be quite like
artificer adjacent people. So that's why I was particular with that. So I didn't say archer, I said ranged. Yes. Because they could even be casters technically for ranged.
That makes sense then. I wasn't really thinking that way because I was like, why don't we have like a mage unit or something? But that does make sense.
And the way that it's currently constructed, which is a very basic version of the game, that's why I chose the names I did. Heavy instead of knight. Right. Because like, I don't know, maybe it's a barbarian technically. Sure. And this would come into play. This would come into play more if we had a zoom in battle, which was a feature that we didn't.
That's the only part is trying to figure out where that makes sense. I mean, going into next session, whatever we call it, 11.
It'll probably
10.5. I don't know.
Just with the scheduling, I don't know that it's feasible to get it out in time to have an episode in between.
Right. I think it probably
November 1st
the regular cadence.
November 1st, November 5th, and December 1st.
Right. It is. I mean, Bjōlan's in. So Bjōlan was thinking, okay, I can hold this line. I can throw some weight. And initially was thinking, let me hop the gate and just run through this crowd. And try and just wreck some people and clear out the archers, because that's really the immediate problem. And I way underestimated the damage output that they were going to be capable of.
And we even nerfed it at the table because 2d20 was way
rough.
Too much.
I mean, especially 1d20 was
one d20 was doing a lot.
I probably underspec'd some units. I was don't get me wrong, the heavy can do a lot. Yeah. But the immediate battle is ranged.
Yes.
And really the heavies and melees are probably going to be more of holding the line while the rest escapes to better holding points. And so that's Bjōlan's immediate next thought is I need to go engage with that and start allowing units to pull back. I mean, he's a fledgling commander in this sense.
Yeah, that was actually one of my questions. This is Bjōlan's first actual encounter with the Kisstyral in general, and how was he feeling? But we're kind of getting.
I think the way I feel Bjōlan is at this point. I mean, having taken on stuff like a Åthedræl and he's seen some things at this point.
Yeah.
Now, a battle format though like this is very different.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a siege. And so in that way, I don't think he's equipped, but I think his laser focused determination to like defend his people and really solve the problem is allowing him to kind of supersede his inadequacies or inexperience there. Because he's just going to be so determined to eliminate the next immediate problem. Now, I don't think there's going to be any grand strategy. I have a broader grand strategy, but I'm gonna probably play it as close to Bjōlan as I can, and that's going to be a little interesting because I don't want to see him die. But
right.
But so I'm gonna have to figure that out a little bit because, like my guess is that we see the melee unit come out of the fog of war. Bjōlan's going to probably sweep back, let the immediate range units probably swarm and become a lot more focused, and hold that line because there's really nothing coming through the gate. You know, probably keep a melee unit there or whatever to balance that. But he's going to be the defensive tank, and he's going to be able to put up with a lot more. Just go ahead and round out whatever's coming that way and hold that line and then determine what's next. Very reactionary. It's all reactionary at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, we've already seen the other front is going much better for the time being. I guess time will tell. But that was a huge oversight personally and character-wise of, we're just fighting it right here at the bridge.
To be fair, I mean, you have so few units to work with that you basically couldn't even worry about that,
right?
And still hold the other territory, because you already had 3 points of egress for the Kisstyral to work with.
It's tough,
and you only had, I mean, there are 3 players, but I only gave you 6 units at the beginning, including your own character. So it was. You were working with a skeleton force, which is how the situation was supposed to be anyways.
Right. It's playing well.
Yeah.
I mean, you could see the inevitable, not to overly draw the analogies between this and Helm's Deep, but there's a clear feel there of like, we gotta fall back to the keep, you know?
Yeah, it is turning out to be sort of like a 1-to-1.
But I think that's fitting. That's very appropriate here.
Yeah,
it's very
it's the roller coaster of all.
Is that the right use there?
What?
It's very apropos.
Yeah. Because it's like, oh yeah, we're doing it.
Right. And you're like, oh no.
We didn't even see how many there were. We couldn't even see them coming into the valley.
This is his first experience with the Kisstyral.
Yeah.
And he knows.
And they're ugly.
Of what they are. They are ugly. The nasty little beasties.
Yeah.
But I don't think he was equipped for this.
No. It's sort of, from my perspective on it, for him, it's being thrown in the deep end is probably the best way that he could do it, because he can't think about it too much almost.
Yeah.
That like, he's like, okay, we have stuff I got stuff I gotta do. I can't even think about the fact that I'm technically fulfilling my role as Kjørbaj to the greatest extent that you could imagine at this exact moment.
That was a misplacement on my part too. My introduction.
Yeah, getting into first impressions.
We had been talking about it so much, and then I rolled in with that, and you were like, "Wow," and I was like, "Oh wait, that's kind of true." I in my own mind started embellishing it more than it really is at this point.
Which, it's a trapping of the narrative that we have going on for him, that it is so much of a focus. But I didn't intend it to be such like a, hey, come back to earth a little bit, kid. But I think it plays out well that way. So Åthedræl, haven't had many interactions with Emily's character.
Yeah.
Obviously, because she was very worried about this going into the episode, that she doesn't have like this fully fleshed out character yet. I'm like,
none of us did.
None of them knew that this battle was going to happen.
Right.
So I was saying to her as carefully as I could, like, you won't have to worry about having a fully fledged character in this episode. I think you can take a moment, sort of get integrated a little bit with your own character, and we'll figure it out a little later on, because I knew this was coming.
I had no idea what to expect. Will did drop a hint because he had said he talked to you, and he just said Xander's got something big for this next session. And that was the only thing, and I was like, "Oh well, here we go. This is exciting."
Yeah,
but I had no concept that we were going to be fighting.
Yeah, we had
XCOM style, whatever. I don't know, whatever you want to call this. I called it Civilization.
It's a mashup of Civilization with some XCOM, with like the Fog of War stuff.
Yeah.
With Advance Wars, which is on Game Boy Advance. I apologize. I said Game Boy Color in the episode.
Yeah.
It was Game Boy Advance that had Advance Wars and Advance Wars 2, which are fantastic games.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't buy
remakes on the Switch, but I feel like
I didn't buy the combo pack. Was it for the Switch?
Yeah, but it was like $40. I felt like was a little steep at the time, but
of
course now we're in like $70, $80, $90.
So maybe it'll be fine.
But ridiculous.
Also, I've still got a 3DS, so I can go back and I've got a DS, so I can go back and play my Game Boy Advance copies if I so chose.
Right.
Because there are still a couple challenge maps on there that I wasn't able to get through because they're like impossible odds. Fun game though.
It's feeling like impossible odds.
Yeah, I mean, there was actually as I was putting this together, I'm like, there's actually a mission in, I think, in Advance Wars 2 that is very much like this. Like, you guys have to hold until the reinforcements get there.
Really?
Because it's a pretty common trope, anyways.
Right.
It's a pretty common trope. Yeah. So it's not crazy. We're not trailblazing here.
Yeah.
Aside from like having this very roughly hewn combat mechanism.
Can I ask you a lore question?
Yeah.
With the Tyrell, overall, they're corrupted versions, but are they like embodiment of evil, or are they just the dark reflection of like how would you describe the Tyrell overall? Like, are they mindless killing machines, or are they, or do they have their own wants and needs, and
they are
cities and civilization of their own kind of thing,
There's not, like I said, the severing, right? We've talked about the severing before. So knowledge of what they are in the further is not exactly available.
Right.
It's not available. Like, there is no memory of what the Kisstyral were like in the further.
Right.
But from the experiences of them within Bjōlan, they are impulse. They are driven by. Do they have wants and needs? Yes, that's all that they have is wants.
Okay, so there's like a carnality there. Effectively.
Yeah. It's
like they're beasts.
They're impulsive.
Yeah.
They are driven by immediate interest, focus, attention, which is why after the Zoreg receded from the War of the Breach, would I know that? You would know this.
Bjōlan would know that
because this is one of the things you would be mainly focused on, because it's the touch point for Kisstyral interaction is the War of the Breach.
Yeah.
So that would be more hypothesized than anything else, but because there was at one point the Kisstyral were winning the War of the Breach.
Right.
They were winning, and then the Kisstone arrived to help reinforce and stem the tide,
right,
and sort of bring things to an even keel. But over the course of time, the attacks became more haphazard and disorganized in that. And from what can be gathered, the Zoreg who had been sort of being the puppet masters of the whole
Did they also come over like?
Yes,
okay.
They came over with the War of the Breach.
Okay.
They came over through the breach itself.
Okay. That was one part I forgot.
Yeah.
Or didn't know or whatever. Probably forgot, but
I may not have been ever mentioned really. It's part of another character's backstory from the previous campaign / the book.
Yes.
Yalnailn.
Whose character was that?
That was Ethan's character from the previous campaign. He's a Shudresh.
Okay, not a Fonril.
He's a Shudresh who grew up. So he was.
Shudresh are the Far Shores.
No, that's the Mopari.
Oh, that's
Mopari the Far.
Shudresh are the ones.
He's your boat captain.
Yes.
Come on, lads, let's get there. Yeah, that's. But he doesn't sound.
But they're the ones with the ear bumps.
They've got their notch ears. Yeah. Yeah.
That's right.
I was reading through the book. I came across during my. I was actually during my my Lore Goblin Live 4, and I can't remember if I said it loud, but I used the term Duskers for them, and I was like, "Oh, that sounds so racist, bro."
Yeah, it does. That's rough.
Because it is.
Yeah,
because it is. But anyways, he's a Shudresh who actually witnessed, and he was actually mentioned in I think episode 1 by Ashtakroc. He said that he had spoken with someone who was actually there at the breach's opening, and that was.
Okay, I didn't make
him.
that connection.
That was Yalnailn.
Yeah,
and he then.
I mean, Will obviously teased out
Bolosh.
Bolosh, yeah.
Yeah, but
that was the only one I think you named.
Yes, Bolosh was the only one that I named because Ashtakroc actually named, but he didn't name Yalnailn.
If you didn't know, Will played Bolosh in the lost episodes.
I mean, they're not lost. I have all the recordings. I found them.
Yeah,
but they're unreleased episodes because they weren't ever meant to be
the other campaign, the original campaign,
the OG campaign that petered out after it was probably like 18 months we were going.
Yeah,
but they had like the Bleblin Hill Mound. They were in this place for just like months.
We gotta try not to do that.
Yeah. I've not constructed a multi-layer puzzle filled like traditional dungeon.
Okay,
is what that was.
So you got some good old Dungeons and Dragons there.
Yeah, that was sort of it was very much a traditional, much like Dungeon of the Mad Mage sort of feel.
Sure.
But it was a burial mound for some Mosarn from eons gone by. Old stuff. Very fun, very interesting. It features prominently in the book.
I don't know how we'd play this. There's probably no good way without zooming in, I guess, but with my Kjorbosh powers, would I be able to leverage that on the battlefield? There's probably no good way to capture that without zooming into an individual conflict.
Yes, because the powers that you do have are pretty like 1v1 focused. Yeah. With us treating HP like unit totals,
right? Like
each HP number is a person.
Yeah.
I don't think that works unless we do the zoom in battle, which is why I put the zoom in battles in there. But yeah, we're still trying to find the use case for it, which I have an idea of when we would use them, but none of them ever.
Yeah, I think you kind of said is like a last ditch effort or whatever.
Yeah, like we need to hold this bridge.
Yeah.
So if you were at the gate when you saw this approaching, we may have done a zoom in battle and actually had like the Legolas moment, take him down, you know.
Right.
But
Legolas.
Yeah. But for going back to Yalnailn, he worked to understand the War of the Breach and figure out what happened. And he heard about the Zoreg he interviewed a bunch of Kisstone who were involved with the war itself, and learned of the Zoreg from them.
Okay, so the Kisstone would be very familiar with the Zoreg.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Zoreg are he's your boogeyman.
Right. It's very fitting.
Yeah. Because I don't know if you heard the full description. I don't know if I ever read the full description. I read a bunch on the on the previous Lore Goblin. I read like
soggy bread and all that good stuff, and
That's different. That the soggy.
Oh wait,
bread
that was
feet,
a different thing.
That was a different
I
thing.
remember that.
That was the guys marching through
Yes.
the swamps.
My mistake.
Yeah. Sloughing off like soggy bread. Yeah. Delicious.
Terrible.
But any other questions for me? I got through everything. I have not a lot to say about Åthedræl. We don't have much to say about her.
No.
Other than you're a little presumptuous with how much you would know about Kjørbaj.
That's gonna take some calibrating, we'll say.
Well, we'll get through the battle. We'll actually have a moment to like.
Though it probably plays well because I think that's kind of Bjōlan. I think he is so fixated on that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, he's ditched his hometown. He could have gone home.
Mm-hmm.
He could have just gone home.
He could have
stayed home.
Yeah.
But no, he's got to fight. He's got to figure this out. And he's so into being the Kjørbaj.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is like, hey, that's what I am. I'm a Kjørbaj. If you don't know what it is, I'm going to show you.
Yeah.
And I'm going to define Kjørbaj, and I'm going to champion that. Like, it is such a, big blazing.
Yeah. Literally in some
Yeah,
cases, a blazing rune.
Yes, he's got not entitlement, but he's swelled up about it right now. Like, I think he is so impassioned about the Kjørbaj that is becoming his sole identity. And I think that's kind of my current character thread that I'm pulling is, what is Bjōlan going to become, and how will this really shake out?
And we'll see.
We shall see.
Maybe not. We'll see how I fully intend to finish the battle in the next episode. I think we should be able to.
Well, we're right there, right? The wall broke. We have one full round of ourselves left, and then Wyatt should be arriving.
No, I think I said that he can show up before.
It was the beginning of the fourth round or something, right?
Yeah. Beginning of the fourth round, he gets. Where is his turn going to occur, though? Probably his turn. He will show up, so you'll know that there's reinforcements, but he has to deploy on his turn, I suppose. Something along those lines.
That's all. Yeah, that's inevitable.
Yeah, I also have to figure out how many units he actually gets.
That's going to be an interesting balancing problem. I don't envy you there, because to some degree, again, not to overly draw the comparisons, but it's kind of Gandalf showing up with the Riders of the Rohirrim.
Yeah,
and
oh no, is it also the first light on the fourth day?
Is the
third day, right? Isn't the third day in there?
Third day?
I hope it's the third day, not the fourth day.
Look to the east. And then something about blowing the horn.
But sound the horn of Helm Hammerhand? One last time.
Helm Hammer. Yeah, that's what
that's the guy's name.
Did you ever watch the anime?
Oh yeah, the War of the Rope.
That was decent.
Yeah, you said it was pretty good.
Not very on topic right now.
Political. It's all derivative, right? No, it's not. It's not totally derivative. Give me a break. Come on. I made up this system. I looked at like one thing for how to do large scale battles. And I was like, oh, that's an idea. And then I just like totally changed gears. I was like, you know what? I'm glad that this just did. Because they didn't have anything about different unit types and things like that. Well, I hope you watched episode 10 before you watched this, because we talked.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
It is the DM Debrief by episode.
I did make sure to not spoil that the battle didn't finish in the episode title, so I just called it the Battle of Nerhtan, not the Battle of Nerhtan Part 1, which is what it actually is.
That's probably why.
But the Battle of Nerhtan is how you would really technically say it if we're going to get in the nitty-gritty. But hey, DM Debrief, we're done. Like, subscribe, follow on X, Substack for... normally, it's the only place to get full video until the YouTube memberships come online.
Right.
But until we finish the Battle of Nerhtan, I guess you might lose access to the video if we finish the Battle of Nerhtan with time to do stuff at the end of the next episode. But, I won't hold me to it. Sorry about being late on the episode. We got it done as quickly as we could. There were multitudinous issues that we encountered.
Yes.
Scheduling and otherwise.
Yep.
But, you know, eventually you can get things done. No
Yep.
matter, well, I won't say no matter the issue. Like,
And we're only going into the holiday season, so you know.
yep.
Yay.
You know, nothing but time. Nothing but time.
That's right.
All right. Well, bye.
Bye.